Have you ever looked down at the little device under your hand and wondered, why on earth do we call this thing a mouse? It doesn't squeak. It doesn't eat cheese. And these days, a lot of them don't even have a cord that looks like a tail. So where did the name come from? The story is a little charming in ordinary why. In the early 1960s, computers were nothing like the sleek machines we use today. They were enormous, room-sized machines that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Most people interacted with them by typing commands on a keyboard or feeding in stacks of punch cards. Pointing at something on a screen was awkward. The common tools were light pens that you had to hold against the monitor, joysticks, or even experimental devices like helmets that tracked head movement. Douglas Engelbart, an engineer at the Stanford Research Institute in California, believed computers could do much more. He wanted them to become tools that would actually amplify human intelligence, helping people think, create, and collaborate in powerful new ways. To make that vision real, he needed a better way for a person to point and select things on a screen. Around 1961, while sitting through a dull conference talk, Engelbart began sketching ideas in his notebook. He imagined a small device that could sit under the hand and roll across a desk. The movement would control a cursor on the display. A couple of years later, he brought the concept to his colleague Bill English, a skilled engineer. In 1964, English built the first working prototype. Imagine a small rectangular block of wood, about the size of a thick bar of soap. Underneath it were two thin metal wheels set at right angles to each other, one for side-to-side movement, one for forward and back. On top sat a single button. Later versions would have three. A cord came out of one end. When you pushed the wooden box across the desk, the wheels turned and sent signals to the computer, moving a pointer on the screen. It was crude by today's standards, but it worked better than anything else they had tried. Engelbart's team ran careful tests. They timed people performing the same tasks with different devices, the new wheeled box, light pens, joysticks, and other gadgets. The wooden device won almost every contest. People were faster with it and made fewer mistakes. It felt natural. You could rest your hand, move precisely, and keep your eyes on the screen. Then came the nickname. No one on the team can remember exactly who first said the word. Engelbart later admitted in interviews, "I don't know why we call it a mouse. It started that way, and we never did change it." The most common explanation is the obvious one. The device was small, it moved around the desk, and the cord trailing behind it looked exactly like a tail. Some team members also recalled that the on-screen cursor was jokingly called a cat at the time, so the idea of a mouse being chased by a cat may have played a small role. Whatever the exact origin, by 1965, the name was already appearing in official reports written by Bill English. The affectionate nickname had stuck. Engelbart tried to give it a more serious title. When he filed for a patent in 1967, the official name was the XY position indicator for a display system. That patent was granted in 1970, but almost no one used the formal name. In the lab and soon in the wider world, it was simply the mouse. The public first saw the device on December 9, 1968. Engelbart stood on a stage in San Francisco in front of about 1,000 computer professionals, and delivered a live demonstration that has become legendary. Historians now call it the mother of all demos. For 90 minutes, he showed the mouse in action, along with hypertext links, multiple windows on one screen, real-time collaborative editing, video conferencing, and a graphical interface. Many of these ideas would not become common for another 15 to 20 years. During the presentation, Engelbart casually remarked, "You have a pointing device called a mouse. I don't know why we call it a mouse. Sometimes I apologize for it." The audience was amazed. They were watching the future of personal computing unfold in real time. Even after that famous demo, the mouse did not spread quickly. For years, it remained mostly a research tool. In the early 1970s, Bill English left SRI and joined Xerox's Palo Alto Research Center, better known as Xerox PARC. There, the design was refined. The two wheels were replaced by a rolling ball, similar to an independent invention created around the same time by engineers at the German company Telefunken. Xerox put a mouse on its Alto computer and later on the Star system in 1981, the first commercial computer sold with a mouse as standard equipment. The real breakthrough came when Steve Jobs visited Xerox PARC in 1979. He saw the graphical interface and the mouse and immediately understood their potential. Apple licensed the technology. In 1983, the Apple Lisa shipped with a mouse. The following year, the original Macintosh made the mouse a household object. Microsoft soon followed with Windows, and the mouse became the standard way most people interacted with computers. Interestingly, neither Engelbart nor SRI became wealthy from the mouse itself. The patent covered the mechanical design, but the true value lay in the larger ideas about interactive computing that the mouse made possible. Engelbart received many honors later in life, including the National Medal of Technology, yet he always viewed the mouse as just one small piece of a much bigger vision. Today, the mouse has changed almost beyond recognition. We went from wooden boxes with wheels to ball mice that collected dust and dirt, to optical and laser mice that track movement with light, to wireless and Bluetooth versions that have no cord at all. Trackpads and touchscreens have tried to replace it, yet millions of people still prefer the precision and comfort of a mouse. And through every redesign, the name has remained. There is a quiet irony in that. The original reason for the name, the cord that looked like a tail, has largely disappeared. Yet we still call the device a mouse. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of life's ordinary mysteries, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to Ordinary Why.